Just a picture-perfect day here at historic Riggs Field as the Clemson Tigers get set to host UAB out of Conference USA. This Clemson team 1-0, beating their Palmetto State rival South Carolina 3-0 in their season opener on the road at South Carolina. Alongside Charlie Davies, shortly he'll be joining me. I'm Dallin Cuff, and this Clemson team last year won the regular season ACC outright. They got to the final of the tournament, falling to Virginia. They lost in the Elite Eight of the national tournament, but they did lose Robbie Robinson, #1 pick in MLS draft. But they bring back a ton of talent from a great team. Freshman of the year and first team All-ACC, Philip Mayaka, doing his thing in the midfield. Camarnie Smith, outstanding goal scorer. Grayson Barber, another attacking, dynamic player. George Marks between the sticks. Oscar Ogren, the big center back from Europe. And then Mike Noonan was coach of the year. I mentioned Mayaka. He's a guy you need to watch today, folks. This young man, a bit of a surprise that he came back to Clemson, to a lot of us on the outside. But Mike Noonan said he wanted to get 2 years of education, and he had an opportunity to trial with Levante, who's in the first division in Spain. Hadn't had that opportunity because of COVID, but he is back now. One of the most sought after, one of the most difficult players to deal with in college soccer. So he will be leading their line in the midfield. When we come back, though, we've got lineups and kickoff here from historic Riggs Field as the Tigers look to start their home campaign with a dub. Back here at historic Riggs Field, about to kick off. UAB on the road visiting the #3 team in the land, Clemson. Here's the UAB lineup. Charlie Davies is now on board. Joseph Butte scored 2 goals and their only win of the season over Central Arkansas. Chuck, what does Butte bring to this lineup?
He's just a senior. Leadership. Scores 2 big goals, getting the game winner for their only win on the season. So they're going to depend on him to be consistent. When he was good, the coach said he's been great. Jeff Kinney was very high on him, but he needs to have a rebound game after the last performance.
Yeah, last game out, they lost to Georgia Southern 4-0. And for Kinney's squad, as they look to take on the #3 team here, 4-3-3 for Mike Noonan rolls out. The interesting point, Mohamed Saei, who scored 2 goals and drew a penalty in that only game they played this year, the win against South Carolina earlier in the week. He's out, late scratch, looks like a leg injury, Chuck. With him not in the lineup, Callum Johnson will start. How does this affect Mike Noonan's crew?
Well, you're talking about one of the most targeted players in the lineup, Mohamed Saei, who had a brilliant start to the season, 2 goals, and also got fouled for the PK in that 3-0 win over South Carolina. But Camarnie Smith and Grayson Barber are your go-to players. I'm sure they're going to be moved into a central position, and you look to play through them to create and score goals.
And we are out players taking a knee together with the starting 11 in their fresh jerseys. They just got these jerseys in today, the orange and white. They've got a beautiful new soccer facility, which can't really be utilized in the current COVID state. But Clemson soccer has arrived, no doubt. Nationally last year, really breaking out. This year, everybody has high expectations for this crew. One of the favorites, along with Wake Forest, who's currently the #1 team in the nation, to win the ACC.
Down, the expectations are high, are extremely high for Clemson with what they were able to accomplish last year. And this year they feel that Mohamed Saei, even though Robbie Robinson was arguably the best player in college soccer, he won the Mac Herman Trophy Award, Mohamed Saei offers something different and maybe just as impactful.
Say sitting on the sideline, this has become customary across the world, everybody taking a knee after the whistle blows. You see the unity across the shirts for the Clemson players in the fight for racial equality.
Thank you.
And here we go, UAB, first time they're going to play an ACC opponent this year. They play Wake coming up next weekend. Jeff Kinney said this is a great opportunity for his program to see what the best is all about, have that experience, play against ACC athletes, ACC coaching. He wants his program to see what it's all about as Mohamed Saei sits on the sidelines. Huge part of this team. Mike Noonan was very excited about the sophomore from Spain. And the year that he had last year kind of betting in, but he had a breakout game against South Carolina. As I mentioned, 2 goals, drew the penalty, but he is not in the game. You see his ice bag on his left hamstring, it looks like. And we're underway here at historic Riggs Field. So, Charlie, early on with these Blazers coming in here 1-2, what are you looking for them to try to make this a competitive game against an outstanding Clemson team?
They have to be organized. You cannot get stretched with this Clemson team. They're high flyers. You see Kamari Smith and Grayson Barber. They press, they make great runs, and they're fluid. So for UAB, they have to make sure that they're organized. They don't give away possession in bad parts of the field, and just look to capitalize on their opportunities.
And Jeff Kinney in his second year at the helm here at UAB last year, only coming away with 3 victories in his first campaign, but trying to turn this program around. Was at Virginia Tech the 9 seasons prior to that. Part of that, those teams that went in Sweet 16 in 2016, the Hokies in 2018 went to Elite 8. He was part of that squad and part of that coaching staff. So he knows what the ACC soccer is all about. That's why he's excited to have these opportunities, because Conference USA, there are only 3 programs in that conference playing soccer this year. So it's been a unique year for them. They've had the opportunity to have some ACC opponents. As I mentioned, Wake is up next on their schedule. And next year, they're going to return those games. ACC teams will be playing on the road at UAB. Down the side, playing to cut it back in. A lot of physicality there. I believe Grayson Barber working, gets the shot off. High, though.
Grayson Barber, the junior, had a phenomenal sophomore year, breakout season. On the dribble, this is where he's in his element. He's quick on the turn, quick touches, and just trying to get it to far post. But he's great at evading those initial tackles. And when he's in the box, you can't dive in, because if you do, you'll either get beat or you're going to foul him.
Second team All-League player last year. Ball played back to Kalen Whitehead, goalkeeper. He looks long. Battling up there is DuPont. There's Philip Mayaka, we talked about on the top of the show. The sophomore center midfielder.
Now Clemson's playing with Callum Johnson up top, and he is typically a holding midfielder. So it's a lot different than what you're normally accustomed to seeing with this Clemson team, which is high press, high fast paced. You're getting in behind.
Shot off, just rolls wide of the stick. Those Aiden O'Hara get the quick trigger.
But this is an encouraging start for UAB. They're just getting down the line, combining, and then just getting a quick shot off, try to put it on far post. But that's what is needed. Good work from Nathaniel St. Louis to press and put Clemson back line under pressure. Dallin, these games sometimes for the younger kids, you're hyped. Your team is hyped nationally. You're the 3rd ranked team in the country.
Charlie Asensio looking long, but Whitehead off his line to corral.
It's easy to get overconfident.
There's the sophomore Callum Johnson getting the start in place of Mohamed Saeed, but as you mentioned, not the same, doesn't offer the same thing. Very different player. Usually plays in the midfield, so something to watch how they're attacked. Maybe, what do you think, will lack some dynamism? Like, what do you think the effect of him playing up there will be?
Yes, it's not going to flow like it normally would. You can play through Mohamed Saeed because he's that big. He can hold up players, two center backs. When you occupy that space, Kamari Smith and Grayson Barber can run in behind.
Smith is running right now, tries to play an early ball. Johnson and Barber were in the box, but nothing doing, cut out. On the ball, Joseph Butte, senior captain, looking up top for Santiago Herrera, but he was offside. Nathaniel St. Louis, excuse me. Ball pinged long. Up to Barber again.
And Dallin, for Clemson, it's about getting match fitness and getting in preparation for the big ACC showdown Friday with UNC.
Come back to that UNC game in a minute as the ball finds its way to Mayaka in the midfield. Plays it out wide to Charlie Asensio. Justin Malou on the ball, junior from Senegal. One of the center backs, played the right back spot for them last year, but Malik Mbai graduating, Malou has moved inside.
You can see that the Clemson team doesn't look smooth right now. They're still looking for match fitness and sharpness, and that's what Coach Mike Noonan wanted from this team today. Is I want to see high press. I want to see you guys empty the tank, push yourselves, get some of those minutes under your belt before we get into real competition with UNC on Friday.
Mayaka on it again. Finds Barber. Barber muscled off the ball by Owen Travis. Luis Felipe Fernandez Salvador pushes it forward. Early ball played in. Cleared out by UAB, but Oscar Ogren on the ball to maintain some pressure.
And this is what we can expect from UAB, just defending.
Well, Mike Noonan's team's going to try to find a way to break down the Blazers in his 11th year at Clemson, coming off that fantastic campaign last year. He was the ACC Coach of the Year back in 2015. They made it all the way to the national final, falling to Stanford. Want to be back in that College Cup conversation this year. If that happens, it'll be in the spring. In the fall right now, the big prize is the ACC regular season championship and then the ACC tournament. Rashawn Clark, the man in the middle, blows a whistle. So foul on Barber.
And that's good for Mayaka, keeping his head on a swivel, seeing that pass before the entry ball comes to his feet.
So just so you know how this season is going to work here, you've got 2 regions, North and the South. 6 conference games will be played in the ACC to get into the ACC tournament. Top 4 in each region move forward. As we mentioned, the NCAA tournament is pushed to the spring. But the ACC with this new structure, really 6 conference games. This is one of the few non-conference games, true non-conference games, where the ACC opponent will be playing UAB. UAB has to have all the same protocols that any ACC opponent has in terms of COVID and testing. Jeff Kinney was very open with the fact that they're attached to the medical school. He thinks their protocols and they're even more stringent than the ACC. So they were set up to have the opportunity to play some ACC teams. They're capitalizing on that.
There's Coach Kinney. For him, he just wanted his team to come out and compete. First, have a strong back line, organized, defend first. You give up 4 goals in your last match against Georgia State. You need to come back and have that response. So far, he has to be proud with how his team has been set up, how they've looked to play forward and be proactive, but initially just to defend.
Asensio finds Johnson. It looks long for Smith running down the channel. Flag stays down. Marnie Smith charging into the box, looks to cut it back, get it on his right foot, and it's just wide.
The ball in behind from Asensio, and this is the perfectly timed run from Kamari Smith. He takes a look. He knows exactly what he wants to do. He's going to beat the defender, cuts inside, and tries to frame it to the far post. But this is something that he's talked about, working on his game, coming from his left foot, his preferred stronger left foot, to his weaker right foot, and being able to finish to the far post. That is what allows you to make that jump from college soccer to professional soccer, being a little bit more dynamic, not predictable.
A senior from Nottingham, England. Found out today he's a Man U supporter. Rough stretch for any Man U supporter right now. They got shellacked 6-1 by the Spurs yesterday. Barber tries to run it down. He will get there. Krasniqi is battling with him. Talking about Jeff Kinney wants his guys just to compete. This is a young team who's very clear about how inexperienced they are, and he thought the performance they put out against Georgia State was just basically unacceptable last game. They got scored on in the first 10 minutes and never really found their way into that match. Barber on the doorstep, a lot of contact, couldn't get any purchase on the header. DJ Benton coming together. Quinn McNeil. This UAB squad, a young team, 11 freshmen, 7 sophomores. They do have 10 in their junior class, but a lot of the guys getting the major minutes are underclassmen with this group.
Yeah, Mike Noonan will not be happy with the start from Clemson thus far. Haven't been clean on the ball. Has been a little bit rusty, disjointed. He wants them to be free-flowing. We saw them last year, Dallin. When they were countering, when they were attacking, it was all one-touch, two-touch, and it was quick play, and it was smooth, it was crisp. You can obviously see they're still working things out, still a little bit in preseason mode, and they're using this game to get their match fitness up.
Yeah, this is a team that obviously they had to have their first game of the season canceled, and things pushed back after having a COVID outbreak in their squad, and then the contact tracing. A lot of guys weren't able to train. Not only times 10 healthy bodies, he was telling us. So the match fitness is really important, but I guess it's no surprise they're a little, not as fluid as you would think. This is a team trying to get everybody back and fully healthy and on the same page. They looked like it at South Carolina, but different situation here. Sean Clark's going to stop it. They tried to do a quick restart, but it went off a Blazer player. A lot of times that's an automatic yellow.
In this case, Joe Butte's going to talk to from the tackle on Mayaka. That looked dangerous. You never want to see a tackle like that because you're really putting the player's safety in danger. He didn't go all the way through, therefore he was just getting a talking to, but he's trying to nip it in the bud to not let this match get out of hand.
Sean Clark, the man in the middle, had something to say to Grayson DuPont as well. Senior defender. Daniel St. Louis charging down Asensio, trying to close him down.
And when teams sit back, Dallin, this is nothing new for Clemson. We saw this last year with ACC opponents. Forget out-of-conference games, where teams just bunker in, defend. But UAB is setting up in a mid-block. They're not exactly just parking the bus and sitting deep. I'm actually impressed with their effort to try and play this game and stand toe-to-toe with Clemson.
Benton down the right side, got room for a cross. Tries to drive it in, but goes off Asensio's leg. First corner of the match for the Blazers.
Good work from UAB there, and Benton taking advantage of his pace. He can just push it and run. So now that he knows that in the back of his mind, if he's ever in trouble, that is one way you know you can get down the line. To be taken by number 2, 1v1 in speed.
Butte over the ball. Senior drives it in low. Benton tries to play it early, but just into the hands of George Marks. Smith has an opportunity. Great late tackle. Appeals for a penalty, but Rashawn Clark says no, he got the ball.
No penalty there. Down, that comes back on Kamari Smith. He had to pull the trigger the first time. It was there for him to take. He let it bounce, and that allowed Joe Butte to come across and make that challenge.
Little 1-2, Smith. Smith trying to turn. A lot of green jerseys there he's trying to work through. Eventually cleared out.
The ball in behind for Kamari Smith, and he takes the touch instead of letting it fly from that. You're inside the box, 12 yards out. The ball's perfectly sitting in the air. Take the shot.
Barber on the ball, driven in. Opportunity for Johnson. He couldn't get in the end. Asensio stepping up, acres of space for the cross. Looks back post, headed down, not out yet by the Blazers.
And on that cross, that's where you expect Mohamed Saeed to be there and just tap it in. Callum Johnson is not a typical striker, so he was late to that run. He didn't see it in time. And Grayson Barber, this is a player who had 9 assists last year. 10 goals, 4 game-winning goals, too. He showed up in big moments.
Asensio back down into the attacking third again. Finds Felipe, turns it, cuts it back. Pulls the shot, though.
Here it is, Grayson Barber. Just head up and whips in a great ball along the 6-yard box. And then Felipe Fernandez, the cutback, does all the hard work and then just doesn't put a shot on target. In that case, he was looking to catch the keeper near post. Keepers love to cheat and feint second post because they think that bend is coming. Felipe thought he was cheeky going near post, but you have to put it on target to give yourself a chance.
Whitehead, the freshman keeper, drives it long. Benton on the ball now. Looking up. Marnie Smith on the ball again. As they get it reversed out to the other side. Move by Mayako. Johnson on the ball. Now he's got his head up. Asensio back down that left wing again. Johnson trying to float it back post. Nobody home. This Clemson team, as we mentioned, obviously Robbie Robinson gone, but a lot of talent still here, particularly that sophomore class with Mayaka, Agrin, very talented group. Charlie Asensio, all-league player as well, one of your juniors. Only 4 seniors on this crew, A young but experienced team, and very, very talented. Smith over the ball. Driven in, Barber gets ahead to it. Deflected out.
Now, if you're tuning in, make sure you're watching Philip Mayaka and his movement. He's growing into the game. This is a player that was recruited by Levante of La Liga. He was, you know, like you said down in pregame, he was going on trial in March. That had to get postponed due to COVID, but all eyes are on this player because of his brain, his movement, his good touches, his awareness, and he's not afraid to shy away from challenges.
Towards the back post. UAB able to get it out, but only to Mayaka.
and Clemson have to do a better job of that press, the counter press. You have possession, you have a bad ball, or you lose possession. Number of guys have to surround the ball and attack. Make sure that you're not giving outlets and make sure you're covering those passing options.
Looking long, Barber looked like he bent his run. The flag stayed down, but nice recovery by Owen Travis and Mason Robichaux. Driving end line, getting him, cut it back, but then Malou is there to intercept. All right, get your Friday started with an intra-state matchup. Duke makes the trip down Tobacco Road to visit Raleigh, take on the Wolfpack. Blue Devils, NC State, 8 Eastern. Men's soccer coming your way Friday on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. There's a game preceding that, UNC and Clemson, 6 o'clock. That'll be on ESPNU game. Charlie and I will have that call for you. Blake White just subbed in for Theodore Thorvaldsen. Blake White leading scorer on this team the last 2 years.
This is what we expected more of. Fouls, disrupting Clemson. These are what teams that are really defensive minded and looking to.
Opportunity off the line is Whitehead with the save.
Ball into the box for Grayson Barber, who continues to make good runs, and then the keeper just makes a fantastic save. Kalen Whitehead came out, closed down the angle for the freshman.
Didn't expect to be the starting keeper, but Seth Torman was injured early in the season. Smith plays it low. Barber trying to run onto it. Runs out of real estate.
In the early stages of a match like this, you try and do too much. You find yourself trying to get into a rhythm, trying to do a little too much. They need to slow down, play one touch, two touch, let the ball do the moving, and then you're going to find yourself getting into a rhythm, getting into a groove, and more opportunities will follow because of typically when you play quick, it gets teams to open up, and it creates more space underneath.
Brooks Stockley checked in for Joseph Butte. The last Des ball for UAB, redshirt junior. Thursday, got a women's soccer doubleheader for you, starting with BC Pitt at 6 Eastern. Then it's number 1 North Carolina hosting number 10 Virginia in Chapel Hill, 8 Eastern right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. Best soccer conference in the country, men and women, no doubt, here in the ACC.
You got that right, Dallin.
I got something right. It's occasional.
Now, Dallin, just looking big picture, what we saw from Wake Forest at Louisville, it seemed like they were a step or two ahead of Clemson right now.
Are you surprised by that?
I am a little surprised. But again, this is why you have games like this to get you into a rhythm, to get you fit, to get you into full 11v11 competition. But I'm a little surprised at how Clemson haven't been controlling the game like I thought they would. There'd be more possession, more passes. They've been a little bit too direct. And against the UAB, that feeds right into what they want. They want you to be direct. They want you to be predictable. It's easier to defend when you know, okay, Kamari Smith is just making runs in behind. Grayson Barber is just making runs in behind. They're not combining. They're not mixing it up.
Turned over, bad spot, opportunity, great cutback. Mayaka's there and he misses. The third time a Tiger has had an opportunity, a gilt edge one, and didn't hit the target.
But it starts with Mayaka and the pressure. He wins the challenge, then it comes right back to him from McNeil, and he goes for the one-touch finish. He just didn't get his hips all the way around.
He also didn't have a shoe. When he made the tackle, he lost the shoe, and that's actually the shoe that he took the shot with his foot that had no shoe on it. He's now putting it back on.
Yeah, that'll change things up for you.
You don't see that every day. Alvaro Gomez checks in, sophomore from Toledo, Spain. Mason Robichaux and Callum Whitehead having a little talk as Owen Travis needs some treatment. Travis, some freshman from Georgia, talented guy. They did say coming in this game, Jeff Kinney, he had a knock. They weren't sure if he'd be able to go, but he loves his potential upside. 6'3", physical, big center back, good on the ball. We'll see if he can continue, though.
And that's a player you want to capitalize on these set-piece opportunities that you have. When you're a UAB, a team that is against all odds when you're playing against the mighty Clemson, you look for set pieces to take advantage of the smaller Clemson side. So when you have a 6'3" center back, that's a target, and that's one advantage that they have.
Yeah, they would have two other advantages if these guys were healthy, though. Seth Torman, the goalkeeper, although Whitehead's equipped himself very well, but he's out of this match, as is Donovan Watson, another big, talented center back that they're playing without. We'll see if Owen Travis is unfortunately maybe added to that list. Donovan Watson's one of the few seniors. He had a concussion on the second day. And that was pretty much a wrap right now for his season at this point in time. Toronto FC Academy product. 4.0 student, neuroscience, Chuck, is his major.
Wow.
Yeah. Impressive young man. Hopefully
you got that right.
He's okay, but they were definitely missing him on the pitch and missing that leadership piece in particular in that back line. You see Wilsley League, sophomore from Huntsville, Alabama, comes in Travis's stead. Callum Whitehead struggling with the sun. That makes two of us. Daniel St. Louis crowded out. Mayaka picks it up again in the midfield.
Clear foul on the substitute. Coming in and trying to make a name for himself. When you're coming in, the high energy, you got to show like, I'm ready for the moment, I'm ready for the opportunity. You're trying to get playing time. And playing time is hard to come by when you're talking about this Clemson front line. Kamarni Smith, Grayson Barber, Mohamed Saeed.
Chris Mathlushki is who we were talking about there, the sophomore, redshirt sophomore. There's Wilsley League again, trying to work on Asensio. He just turns it over. Next Sunday, feature the field hockey match between Virginia and North Carolina at noon Eastern. This is Sunday Best. We got a whole loaded day for you. Then it's women's soccer doubleheader. Number 14, Pitt hosts Navy. Wake taking on number 3, Clemson, with Virginia. North Carolina women's volleyball rounding out our Sunday Best, all right here on ACC Network. That's a fun Sunday right there.
Sunday fun day.
Ogren comes over from his center back spot. Clemson into the attacking third, looking for options. Enrique Montana, redshirt freshman. DJ Benton has moved over to a center back spot. Wilsey League playing the right back spot. That's how they've reshuffled with Owen Travis out of the game, their big center back. Aiden O'Hara, number 9, closing down the ball.
Now UAB is growing in confidence because they're able to keep up and defend. And that just allows them to give you that hope, that belief that, hey, we're in this game. So the longer this goes, the more difficult it's going to be for Clemson because this team feels like if we can continue to withstand Clemson, we know we can keep them out from scoring on us. If we just stay compact, we stay organized, Clemson have to do a better job of pulling UAB defenders out of position. And that starts with running and combining and being able to do some play through the middle, and they haven't been able to do that.
Is it something Clemson's doing to themselves, or is UAB having an effect? How do you diagnose what Clemson's at right now?
I would say right now it's Clemson not playing to their standard. But UAB, don't make no mistake, UAB have been defending. They have been organized, and they've made it difficult for Clemson. They're not going to just roll over.
Turned over, potential opportunity in transition now. Big tackle by Cale Lockery. They're going to go quick restart. But it didn't come off. Nice combination play there, the Blazers, but Asensio had a nice tackle to dispossess O'Hara. Played into the channel again, asking Smith to run for it. Gets there. Potential opportunity for Montana here. Tries to get it back on his left foot.
Kamari Smith now has switched over from the left wing to the right wing, and he told us on the call earlier today, Down, that he likes coming into his left foot to shoot instead of being on the left wing and knowing that, I'm going to cross in the middle for a Grayson Barber or Mohamed Saeed. It's more of a, I'm going to come in with the killer instinct and I'm going to finish. But there has to be more imagination in the attacking third from Clemson. You're missing Mohamed Saeed, maybe combine a little bit more through Callum Johnson, drop him down lower.
Asensio floating it back post. And Smith made the run, but Whitehead off his line to claim it.
Whitehead has looked comfortable in goal, hasn't he, Dallin?
He really has. He's a confident young man. Seems to have a good command of his situation there.
Clemson looking to generate something, switching the point of attack. The ball's floated in for Kamari Smith, but Whitehead read it the whole way, came out. It was an easy grab. That ball has to be driven so the keeper can't come out. So he's caught in no man's land.
John Martin just subbed on for the Tigers. Took the place of Montana. Martin, the junior. local kid from Clemson. Mina Linares is also in the game now. Talented player Linares is. Texas Gatorade Player of the Year last year for our freshman. That's Nietzsche. You see Max Fisher in between the sticks. Whistle blew for offside, but there was some available runners there in green jerseys.
You can't be offside on a corner kick.
Must have gone out of bounds. I'm not sure what happened here, actually. Johnson plays the ball early. Whitehead off his line. Touch pass, but the flag is up.
It's a good finish. Oh, he was on. He was onside. They got that run wrong. It's a well-timed run. He was a step on. That's unlucky.
That's Mathlushki again. Looked like he had the opportunity there, but the flag did go up. You feel incorrectly. Redshirt sophomore from Myrtle Beach. He's had an impact in this game early on.
He's been active. I know Coach Noonan told us he really likes what he's seen from him.
Smith to Matt Lashewski again. Off again, though.
I like what he's brought to the table, Dallin. Just being aggressive, making runs, trying to cause turnovers. That's what you want as an impact sub, to make a difference, and he's done that. I would have liked to see him start on the left side and bring Kamari Smith through the center, play him through the center with Mohamed Saeed going down early.
Mike Noonan was pretty clear with us, though. He wasn't as concerned with the starting group. He wants the guys to build into the game. Really worried about the second half, how they're playing, what guys are on the field at that point in time, working themselves into the game coming up this weekend against UNC, or Friday, I should say, as Mayaka's got some opportunities. Shrugs off a tackler, lays it out to Matt Lashewski. He looks for the cross, and arriving just in time, though. I believe that was Robichaux on the back stick. Smith was there to pounce.
It starts with Philip Mayaka pushing the envelope. Chris Mathluski waits for the time, and then he picks out Kamari Smith on the back post. What a defensive clearance. Robichaux had to make sure it was perfect, and he did.
Smith floats it high. Malou up from his center back spot. Gets ahead to it, but just out harmlessly.
Going back post. Malou uses his athleticism to try and direct it on goal. Just doesn't get all of it. Now with under 10 minutes in the first half, UAB are really got to be thrilled with how this first half has gone and how they've defended. Clemson, on the other hand, they haven't looked clean. The touches haven't been tidy. Philip Mayaka has grown in the game. He's looked pretty good. But other than that, you're left wanting more.
Smith in the channel again. Looking to get end line. Out for the corner. Fourth corner of the match for Clemson. Pinged low. Couldn't handle it.
I think that was meant for Philip Mayaka.
At the top of the box there?
Oh, at the top of the box.
John Martin with the throw in. Mayaka using his body nicely. But good step by the defender. Johnson settles on his chest and gets going upfield. Leszewski tries to play the early ball. Offside. Quinn McNeil.
Still haven't gotten into a rhythm down.
Quinn McNeil, good shot by our
Very
crew there. You can see he's just offside. Yep.
It'll be interesting to see what changes Mike Noonan makes at halftime for Clemson down. Does he go all out attack? Does he pull Callum Johnson into the midfield?
That's a tactical foul. That's got to be a yellow. Good crowd on hand here at historic Riggs Field, socially distanced.
Mayaka with the block, and then he was always going to foul. He had to stop that counter.
Krasniqi committed the foul. Not sure. Krasniqi did go into the book. Agron out to Asensio. Asensio, who was so active down that left flank early, has not been as much. But Smith got a ton of space and tried to play it off to Leszewski and turned it over. Potential opportunity here. Crowded out, though. Kale Lockery, sophomore from Ajax, Ontario. One of the important transfers they had. He played at Seneca College up in Canada. He was MVP of that team as a freshman.
And here's UAB trying to generate some offense. And then Justin Malou with a great challenge, strong, and allows Clemson to get back in possession.
Saw the sophomore Isaiah Reed check in. He's going to get his first touch. South Carolina native himself. Isaiah Reed, interesting young man. We'll hear from him actually at halftime. Talk about his experience and what this summer of social unrest, social justice, desire for change, his viewpoint on all that's happening in that world. Johnson plays it low. Potential opportunity, shot blocked. Attempt to play it long, but they were going to say the Rashawn Clark's going to say that Ogren was fouled when he went to play along. Four minutes to go here. Historic Riggs Field, Clemson, South Carolina. Alongside Charlie Davies, I'm Dallin Cup, the #3 team in the land against UAB. 0-0. Have had some opportunities, but have squandered those. And overall, Charlie feels that they've been a little bit disjointed. Is that a fair word? Had a little bit of a technical issue. Charlie is not with us right now, but he'll be back momentarily. Andrew Strait comes on for Mino Linares. Strait, another freshman from Virginia. Sensio tracks it down. Kept in by Benton. Ogren stepping up, looking long. Nobody home, but this might still be an opportunity. Galen Johnson doesn't like the call. He says it was shoulder to shoulder. Take another look at it. Working hard with DJ Benton. Just pushed him right in the back. He went down easy. There's no doubt about that, but you tend to do that. It's going to be an easy call for Rashawn Clark in the middle. Rashawn Clark telling Ben to pick up the pace of play. Down the ball, head up. Malou plays it forward. Nice combination play by Johnson. Early ball played in. Shot just wide. Isaiah Reed was arriving. Did it come off a blazer last, though? Nice combo play. Ball played in right. Reed makes the near post run. Yes, shot deflected. Nice job by DJ Benton getting there and getting goal side to get the deflection, and it'll be a Tigers corner, the 7th of the match. And you see Benton unable to get up after making the defensive play, and he looks like he's in quite a bit of difficulty. You never want to see that. Benton Jr., local kid, born in Birmingham, part of the Houston Dynamo Academy. Coach Kinney was very clear, said he has all the tools to be a professional, to make it in this game and make some money playing the game in the future. Hopefully he can carry on, but he does look like quite a bit of pain. It's Coach Kinney, his 2nd year at UAB. As we mentioned, he was pretty excited about this opportunity to play ACC opponents. Next up for them is Wake Forest, coming up this weekend. A chance to see what he would say ACC athletes, the coaching, the pinnacle of everything that you want in college soccer is in this conference, and he's aware of that. He knows it. He spent 9 years at Virginia Tech and is trying to turn UAB into a program comparable to an ACC program. And Benton is in severe pain as he limps off. He's off the pitch, but he has not been subbed, so they're playing with 10 men right now. Mayaka from distance deflects out for a corner. Driven in low, poor corner, but might fall to Caleb Johnson. Great shot, saving, it's on the doorstep, there's a goal! Justin Malou, the senior center back, junior center back, comes through.
It's better late than never, Dallin. And Clemson growing into the game, the corner kick near post, UAB can't clear it. Callum Johnson just smashes it, but it's Justin Malou who follows up the play. Whitehead did a good job of saving it, but kept the rebound in front of him. You need to push it away from you if you can't keep possession. It's got to be punched out wide, and he's punished for it. And you see Malou, come on boys, let's go.
Captain opens the scoring for his squad here, 1-0. And that corner was created by Mayaka taking really a 30-yard shot that seemed kind of harmless, but they got a corner because of it and made UAB pay.
And that is absolutely worst case scenario for UAB, considering how this game started off.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Yeah, they would have felt pretty good about going in 0-0 into break, but now they're going to go in 1-0 down to the Tigers. Maybe Rashawn Clark has blown the whistle. He's going to let them serve this one into the box, it seems. Now 4 seconds on the clock.
Now a free kick with only 4 seconds, you just want to whip it in near post.
Driven deep, Whitehead off his line, it's loose again, but time expires before the Tigers can put more pressure on. Your thoughts on the first 45, Chuck?
Sloppy from Clemson, but they come out on top 1-0 going into the half. And for UAB, they've defended, but you can't allow yourself to give up a goal like that heading into halftime. And now Clemson can rebuild off this foundation.
1-0 is the score as we go into break. When we come back, we'll take a look around the league, have some Chuck's thoughts on the big picture and the best conference in college soccer coming up here on ACCN after the break.
Progress, and he's done that from a 3-0 lead, loss to Georgia Southern to now only a 1-0 deficit to Clemson at half. You have to be proud of how this team has come out and competed.
Well, it'll be interesting to see who Mike Noonan puts out there in his squad. As we said, the second half group he thought was pretty important, not just who's going to start. And you see we got a goalkeeper change as well, George Marks. He gets in between the sticks, second team All-ACC last year, replacing Max Fisher. And we're underway here. Alongside Charlie Davies, I'm Dallin Cuff at historic Riggs Field. 1-0, Clemson is up, the number 3 team in the land over UAB through a Justin Malou goal. And that's where we stand. Clemson's first match at home. They've won 17 straight matches here at historic Riggs Field, looking to make it 18.
Now, UAB only had one shot in that first half down, but it seemed to me that most of their joy came down their left side from Nathaniel St. Louis being able to be a little bit influential on the dribble to create some space for himself. That's their go-to man.
It's number 7 in the middle of your screen there. Green jersey, Nathaniel St. Louis. Junior from Toronto. He had trials with West Ham and Benfica. Benfica, one of the better clubs in Portugal. West Ham currently a Premier League team that's having a, let's say, interesting season.
They're always having an interesting season.
Yeah, that's a good point. Turned over by Callum Johnson. Good hustle by Malou. Was able to get there just in front of Brooks Rice.
I remember speaking to Justin Malou last year down. He was playing right back. He really enjoyed it. He wanted to be back in the center of the pitch.
Grayson Barber, opportunity to cross. It falls for Johnson. Shot, and it's cleared off the line.
Here it is. Grayson Barber 1v1 plays in that cross for Kamani Smith, but Callum Johnson does a good job of filling in that void, that space. He continues to read the play. He gets a shot on goal. Cleared off the line by Kranar Kresnicki.
Well, great job being on the line. He's had a couple great last-ditch attempts to keep this thing tight in the first half. A number of tackles, clearances late on balls that were dangerous. Barney Smith driven in. Not quite clear. Pinged up to DuPont. Johnson physical with him, but DuPont was able to ride the challenge. Back to Butte. Butte very quiet in this match. Didn't play a ton in the first half. Defended very well.
And now with the 1-0 lead, you can take your time, keep possession, knock it side to side, draw UAB up the field, because the longer you are in possession, the more emphasis it is on UAB being down a goal to push their lines higher.
Poor ball by Malou leads to a giveaway. Early ball played in by Brandon Core. Johnson's able to keep it in. St. Louis applying pressure, but still Johnson on it. Now to Barber. Mayaka. He's got options down the left side. Smith making the run into the box. Overlapping run by Asensio. He plays Asensio. He dinks it over the top. Falls to Smith, and there you go. 2-0 Tigers.
That's a team goal, Dallin. That is beautiful football. They were combining. They were quick on the transition. This is Clemson at their best. One touch, two touch, coming out of the midfield, and then allowing that to run to develop, and the chip from Asensio to the back post for Kamani Smith. He slips, but it was well dinked over the top. The right pace, he recovers and taps it home.
Great play by Charlie Asensio. He's been up and down that left flank and been effective from his left back spot. Beautifully dinked over the top and finished by Smith. First goal of the season for Smith. First team All-ACC last year.
That's his first of the year. Assisted by Charlie Asensio.
Second team All-American Smith was last year too. Potentially have another campaign like that.
Foul on the play.
Felipe Fernandez rolled up there and gets the foul call. Mayaka looking for Asensio. Mike Noonan did say he feels like Charlie's always forgot. People always talk about their attacking players and their forward line, but Charlie Asensio, all-league player in his own right, been dangerous.
And the ball's being played, one touch, two touch. Mayaka head up, finds McNeil, Quinn McNeil. Vision, awareness, the step overs, and he saw Asensio the whole way, which allowed him to get around on the overlap and the dink across for Camarnie Smith. Now that's a great team goal from Clemson. That is what Mike Noonan was hoping to see from his squad tonight.
Felipe Fernandez plays it over the top. Smith running into the channel. A little too much on his first touch. Rolls out for a goal kick. Coach Noonan and his players all warmed up in their Unity t-shirts. Excited about this group. He was really excited about Mohamed Saeed, but if you were just joining us, Saeed, the sophomore from Spain who scored 2 goals in their season opener against South Carolina, drew the penalty, and they won 3-0. He's out, late scratch, leg injury during when he's warming up. So the sophomore not able to feature in this match. Hopefully it's nothing long term. Falls for Callum Johnson.
Oof.
Just wide.
And Dallin, that's not the only thing Mike Noonan is excited about. We were very fortunate last year to come to Clemson and see Dabo Land. And we thought, wow, what a facility, right? You told me, be prepared for what you're about to see, and I was mesmerized. But now we have Noonan Land. I know he's so excited about what they've been able to put together for Coach Noonan and the crew. It's just a fantastic facility. I think something that all soccer fans in this country will be proud of.
Yeah, the only unfortunate thing that they can't really utilize it because of the COVID situation, but the facility is fantastic. Coaches are excited about it, and Clemson, their athletic department overall, is really investing in the resources and the experiences for their college for their athletes, and this is as good as it gets, Chuck. I mean, they're pro teams that don't have facilities like this.
Yeah, I'm not going to name any names, but there's some Major League Soccer teams out there that don't have facilities like that.
Not going to put him on blast. I think I know exactly what you're thinking of.
I'm not putting anyone on blast, but you know who. If you know, you know.
Charlie Davies, former BC Eagle men's national team player, led the line for our U.S. squad. Hernandez trying to play it across. Might fall for Smith. Just cleared out in time.
Now Clemson are starting to open up UAB and stretch them. And that's with their passing and moving. Here it is, getting down the line. Felipe Fernandez crosses it. There's a couple of deflections. Camarnie Smith gets on it, but Whitehead makes his body big, is able to prevent it from crossing the line. The freshman has been tested tonight, and he's stood tall.
How about Krasniqi, though, again, with clearing it out? He seems to be Johnny on the spot, helping out his freshman keeper, too.
Yeah, he's working.
Barber tries to play Johnson. Cleared out. Not Mayaka's best touch, but he recovers.
And Dallin, you see right there with Mayaka.
Smith's going to have an opportunity. He plays it back. Clear, but not out of the box, not out of danger yet. And Smith came back from an offside position. You were saying you were noticing something with Mayaka, Chuck?
Yes, he has that quickness, so he can make mistakes and still catch up to the ball or still make up for it. Where when you get up to the next level, when you have a bad touch or you make a bad decision, your athleticism isn't going to buy you out of those situations. You can get away with it here in college, but at the next level, guys are too quick, guys are too smart, and you will get punished when you lose possession in certain areas of the field.
St. Louis turns it over, but DuPont suffered a foul before that.
And those are valuable lessons for a sophomore. He's still very young, right? And he wants to play professionally. He has that ambition. He made a promise to his family that he was going to come to college, learn, become a better human being, a smarter individual, and then prepare himself for the professional career. So this is a highly touted player. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and it's all about learning from game to game.
A sophomore from Nairobi, Kenya, via Montverde Academy. Multiple players from this Clemson crew come from Montverde. They're pumping out great soccer players there, and the coaching connection keeps Mike Noonan almost having first choice, if you will, from a lot of these really good players that are leaving Montverde.
There's no almost. He's got first choice.
There are two freshmen from Senegal that, as we've seen across the league in a couple of places, if getting out of Senegal right now is almost not possible, it seems, for these kids to come to school. So two other kids that are on the radar that will be outstanding additions whenever they get to join here with this Clemson crew. Asensio looking up for Barber. Flag is up, though.
Yeah, the ideas are there.
Thursday, we got a women's soccer doubleheader for you. Start with BC Pitt, 6 Eastern. Then it's #1 North Carolina hosting #10 UVA in Chapel Hill, 8 Eastern right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. St. Louis off the turnover. Back to St. Louis. Butte opportunity. Shot. A rare Blazers attack, but the shot is wide.
And that opportunity came off Mayaka. Makes a great first touch, but then the pass giveaway allows UAB to get it into the attacking third. St. Louis finds Butte, who just doesn't get a shot on frame.
Blake White in the game for Andrew Strait. Butte on the ball again. Finds St. Louis. And he gives up possession. Barber drops into midfield to get possession. Out to Asensio.
This is good from UAB again. Getting back to being organized, difficult to break down, looking to play off of Clemson's mistakes.
Fernandez, Ecuadorian, junior, one of the key parts of that midfield. All right, Friday, get it started with an intrastate matchup as Duke makes a trip down Tobacco Road to visit Raleigh, take on the Wolfpack. Blue Devils, NC State, 8 p.m. Eastern, Friday on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Going to be a great men's soccer game there in North Carolina. Ball played in, Whitehead off his line. Might have had some contact, and yes, Rishon Clark's going to call the foul and get some attention for Whitehead, as it looks like he took a shot to the head.
Hope he's all right.
Barber shown a yellow for that. 60th minute, Grayson Barber's going into the book.
The ball in behind. Cross low, and Grayson Barber comes in. It's accidental contact. There's no yellow card there for me.
Sean Clark, only his opinion matters, but I do think that's pretty harsh.
And Grayson Barber said, everyone has an entitlement to go for the ball. It's a cross.
Mm-hmm. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the freshman Kalen Whitehead didn't think this would be his job. He would not be the first choice keeper. Coach Kinney was telling us Seth Torman was the guy that was supposed to be in this spot, but he was injured 2 weeks before the season started. Whitehead won the job, and he's learning through his experiences, and he's had a pretty solid game here, honestly.
The switch, and you see the runners. Kamari Smith goes for the near post. Grayson Barber just gets caught up, but there was no intent, there was no recklessness. He just was making a run to the near post and caught Whitehead. Accidental. Shouldn't have been a yellow card.
We're being told that Mike Noonan was explained why it was a card. He didn't time the tackle correctly, Rashawn Clark felt, and issued the yellow card to Grayson Barber.
Dallin, it wasn't a tackle.
Yeah, I knew you were going to have an issue with that.
Yes, I am. What?
Pinged out wide, but out of play. Brooks Stockley.
Now for Clemson, it's easy to be content. You're up 2-0. You're playing against an inferior team, a team that's really not going to break you down. So you can be a little sloppy or lazy, take one too many touches on the ball. This is where you have to be sharper, play one touch, two touch, get into the attacking third.
Just under 30 minutes to go here. Historic Riggs Field. 2-0. Clemson leading UAB. Justin Malou goal just before halftime, and a Kamari Smith goal just after halftime give the number 3 team in the lead in the land a 2-0 advantage. Looks like Kamari Smith went to ground, but he's back up. Oscar Ogren. Yeah, there's Smith limping. He's asking for a change. He will come off, the senior from Nottingham, England. Second team All-American last year, first team All-ACC. On in his stead is Chris Matlashewski, who had, I think you really liked his minutes in the first half, didn't you, Chuck?
I did. He came in to make an immediate impact. He's getting on the ball. He's being aggressive, towing the line, getting crosses into the box.
Theodore Thorvaldsen comes in the match. Barber trying to battle, might have an opportunity, saved by Whitehead. So, Chuck, we saw Mohamed Saeed leave the match before it even started. Smith now limps off. Those are two of the most dynamic scorers in college soccer. How concerned are you given this, if these guys couldn't continue playing or have any injury issues, what would this Clemson team look like?
Well, it would be a massive difference to have Mohamed Saeed and Kamari Smith out of the lineup. But this is the concern, I think, across all sports, is this disjointed training, preseasons, not having the ample time to prepare for matches because of COVID. It's produced a lot of problems. And so for a lot of these young kids, not getting the match fitness up, and now you're being thrown into competition, it's hard for the body to adjust.
We're seeing it in the NFL right now. You see tons of injuries in that sport. Granted, it's different, but obviously this Clemson team too, what they went through their COVID stop-start, that affected people's trainings and how often guys could be on the pitch just in the last couple weeks. So to your point, causing some issues here with guys' fitness. Stockley on the ball. Mayaka head up. Nice flick on there. Barber tried to play, Felipe Fernandez tried to play Barber in the first time. Ball didn't come off. Nice work by Blake White. Rides a challenge, draws the foul, the junior. Atlanta United Academy product.
Mayaka battling, using his strength, and he gets called for the foul.
White led this team in scoring the last 2 years. Alongside Charlie Davies, I'm Dallin Cuff here at historic Riggs Field. 2-0 lead for the Tigers. Butte doesn't play it in, hits White. A lot of contact out there. Now they'll have a free kick at a much more dangerous spot. It's John Martin. Committed the foul on White.
Butte plays it to the overlapping White. He takes a touch, and then Martin just crunches him. Just didn't time it well. Now that's an occasion where I expect to see a yellow from Sneed.
White to play it in. Driven ball. St. Louis got ahead to it, and it will stay UAB possession now for a corner. Chance to maybe have the deficit.
Oscar Ogren gets his head on it. St. Louis is making that near post run. You see Mayaka near screen. He's there for the counter.
Floated in. DuPont plays it in. St. Louis was there, but headed out nicely by Ogren. This Clemson program starting to make its presence felt in the professional ranks too, Chuck.
Oh yes, and I hear from Stu Holden all the time about how great Clemson is, and Aguchi Onyewu, Clemson. But they have produced some talented players, and you see right now in Major League Soccer, Tommy Mack, what he's been able to do with the New England Revolution, coming in just recently after a trade. He's really helped them get to being at a point where they can compete. And then Robbie Robinson, the expected difficulties of the transition from college soccer to Inter Miami, new coach, new system, new expectations. It's been up and down for Robbie, but I think in the long run he'll really benefit from this year.
Yeah, talk about a wild year. I mean, MLS played some clubs played 1 or 2 games, and they had the shutdown. MLS is back tournament. Now they're playing at their home venues. Inter Miami was playing at Fort Lauderdale, and there's just all types of different fits and starts across MLS this year, particularly for that new franchise.
And for Robbie Robinson, right? Inter Miami, you're bringing in big players, Higuain, Matuidi, Rodolfo Pizarro. So now you're trying to figure out how you fit in with 3 stars.
Slide rule ball played by Fernandez, but can't connect. Matt Leszewski.
And Down, he spoke to us, Kamarni Smith, about his relationship with Robbie Robinson and how they talk often, mostly about FIFA and playing video games. But just his ambition to make that jump just like Robbie did. And he had a strong year last year, and he wants to make those improvements. He's working at his game to be more involved in the attack, checking, holding up the ball. When the game gets rough and teams are surrounding him and double teaming him, how can he make an impact in the game? And I think, we've seen him try and check back tonight, combine. It's going to be a long start for him.
This is a long day of great sports. Sunday Best coming your way. Feature field hockey match between Virginia and North Carolina. That gets it started at noon. Men and women's soccer doubleheader. Number 14 Pitt hosts Navy. Wake taking on number 3 Clemson, with Virginia, North Carolina women's volleyball rounding out our Sunday Best. All right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app.
Dallin, of the guys who left last year, who are you most impressed with?
Of the guys that left?
Yeah, to go professional.
That's a good question. I'd probably say DK. I didn't think he would have that type of impact right away because physically he's so imposing, but there were still different parts of his game that he developed. It seems like he's been great.
Yeah. I mean,
who you got?
The two front runners for Rookie of the Year are both UVA players, right? Henry Kessler and Daryl Dike. And Daryl Dike, he's come in at probably halfway through the season to start to make an impact. Been pleasantly surprised with his finishing ability, in his ability to combine.
Early ball played in. Nobody on the other end. That's Isaiah Reed trying to track it down, and he keeps it in play. Pressured and turned over. Ayaka breaks up the play, called for the foul. And these are your ACC players drafted in MLS this year. You see DK was the 5th overall selection. We've already talked about Robbie at 1st, Ryan Raposo there at 4th.
Henry Kessler.
In terms of next year's crop, do you think it'll be a similar thing with obviously not as many? ACC, one of the few soccer conferences playing. How do you think that impacts guys that want to go pro next year?
I think we'll see the same thing. It'll be largely ACC guys making the jump because now they're proven, right? So the success of Daryl Dike, Henry Kessler, even Alistair Johnston, who wasn't all that much talked about during ACC play. In the Wake Forest locker room, he was highly revered. He was a player that was consistent, delivered, but across the country, it wasn't like, oh, Alistair Johnston, he's going to be a top pro. He's made a great transition with Nashville. Now he's a dependable player. He's playing every match. So when you look across the board, MLS execs are saying, hey, the ACC is producing players that not only can make the jump and be a part of the squad, but can impact the games. And Henry Kessler, for me, was a player I didn't expect to make such a strong start, right? He's a player that has grown with each performance. He reads the game well. He didn't have the most pace. It was more deceiving pace, but because he reads the game so well, he puts himself in the right position where he doesn't have to be matched up with someone who's going to beat him for pace. He's always in the right position. So I'm really optimistic about how the ACC is continuing to produce players and have them be impacts in Major League Soccer at the next level.
That was quite an impressive class. And now there's a 3-on-3 opportunity here. Isaiah Reed making the run. Pass pulls him a little bit wide now, allowing some Blazers to recover. And lays out on the doorstep. Whitehead with the save. Matt Leszewski almost had the goal. Whitehead, though, again, standing tall.
Matt Leszewski was right there on the doorstep. It seemed like he had his foot on the ball first. Whitehead made contact with him. I've been in that position where you're just thinking, just don't crush me. Don't crush me. He's going to come out. He's going to absolutely crush me.
St. Louis little bit of contact on Malou.
And then we see Isaiah Reed just whips in a ball. Matt Leszewski gets there, makes contact, but it's Whitehead again coming up with a big save, making his body big. The concentration levels for this freshman have been very strong.
Took that shot to his head earlier in the half. He needed some attention, but stayed in the game and has continued to play well. Charlie Asensio skipping around a defender, head up. This might fall, definitely number advantage there, but good last-ditch tackle there. Out to Stockley. White. He switches the play, but the ball just shorted. Krasniqi waits for the throw-in as there's substitution. Terrell Price in the game for St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Price, a freshman born in Germany. In the mix now. Second most high school goals ever in Alabama State history. Clanton, Alabama is where he went to high school. 67 goals in his high school career.
Well, he looked good tonight.
Early ball played in. Leszewski tries to nutmeg Whitehead, but he was there again.
It's a great ball in behind, and the timing was on. Here's Grayson Barber, lays in the perfect time ball. Matt Leszewski reads it, but Whitehead does a good job of coming out, cutting down the angle, and making the big time save.
Fernandez over the ball. 9th corner of the match. Taken low. Mayak arriving on it. Hot.
Yeah, that cleared the roof.
How'd you feel about Matt Leszewski's attempted finish there? What did you think of that as a striker, what he tried to do?
He mishit it. He was trying to go far post. He didn't get enough on it. And for Whitehead, he did a good job of coming out and cutting down the angle. And the closer you get, the harder it is for the striker to get it around you, right? So when he came out to that level, Matt Leszewski had two options, and that's near post or high or far post low. And he went down the middle. As an impact player off the bench, sometimes you get so excited, you're like, oh my God, here's my chance, and you overthink opportunities.
DuPont tried to flick it past Ogren. Lots of appeals for a handball. None given by the official. Now Clemson chance to counter that way. Grayson Barber on Isaiah Reed in the middle. Matt Leszewski making the run as well. Still Barber. Low ball shot caught by Whitehead.
Grayson Barber has looked good tonight, Dallin.
Coming off a game where he played at South Carolina, where he's from. Mike Noonan said he was probably pressing a little bit. He's like, nobody wanted to score a goal more than he did in that last game. So good to see him have a solid bounce back performance in this match.
It's just that final ball, the last pass, which has been on, but it's the shot for him, because this is a player who can score, double-digit goals and double-digit assists.
Last year he was third on the team with 10 goals. Barber was second team All-League. John Martin drags down Stockley. Poor free kick, to say the least, by Thorvaldsen. Still being pinged around, though. Falls to DuPont. Out to Butte. White, first-time shot, into the arms of Marks. Gomez. "13 minutes to go, just a little more than that here at historic Riggs Field." Charlie Davies, Dallin Cuff on the call for you. Clemson up 2-0. Justin Malou, senior captain, scored it in the dying seconds of the first half. Camarnie Smith scored in the start of the second half to give the Tigers, the number 3 team in the land, the 2-0 advantage. UAB has not provided much of a threat going forward. This has probably been their best passage of play the last few minutes. Played in early, header off the post, falls to Price, shot saved by Marks. Whoa.
UAB's best attacking moment of the match. It is down the left flank, the ball's whipped in, and DuPont times it well. The header, very difficult to pull off. And then George Marks with the big save on Tyrell Price, who tries to go near post. But it's a diving header. He directs it exactly where he wanted, just comes a little too far off and hits the post.
Grayson DuPont, the senior transfer from New Mexico, and they cut their program. Here's an opportunity again. UAB almost changed the complexion of this match, but now an opportunity to counter the other way. Nietzsche clears it out. Poor cross in right to Whitehead. You see Camarnie Smith back in the game, tracking the ball. That's important to see, as he went out with, he limped to the sidelines, but now he's back in. Thorvaldsen up to Butte. Back to Thorvaldsen. Ayaka picks it up. Head up. Early ball, poor ball. But the game is getting a little bit stretched. UAB out of position, potentially an opportunity. 2 in the box. Looking for Isaiah Reed. Connected, but a nice deflection there. For Brandon Core. There's Smith. Scored that goal today. We had a chance to chat with him earlier today. You mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Charlie, his experience and still talking to Robbie Robinson and kind of what he wants to accomplish, and he wants to be a pro. And then he obviously is in touch with one of his good buddies that's doing that right now. Take a look at the 2 goals on the day for the Tigers. This off the corner. Callum Johnson shot, save, and Justin Malou, first goal since September 4th of 2017 for the senior defender. And this is a beautiful team goal, Chuck.
It is. The overlap and then the dink across. Camarnie Smith trips, but he's able to recover just because of the right pace that Asensio put on the ball. It was just a 1-touch, 2-touch out of midfield, and then Mayaka plays it to the far wing for McNeil, who waits for Asensio to get around him. Great team goal.
Martin stepped into the midfield looking to play in Reed.
Checking for the Tigers, Sterling Russell and Brandon Parrish. Their employee side, Isaiah Reed and Philip Mayaka.
Sterling Russell checks in the game for Isaiah Reed, and Brandon Parrish on for Philip Mayaka.
Has Clemson been underwhelming for you today, Dallin?
It's not it's not their best performance, but I mean, overall, I think it's still so early in the season. They're coming off the COVID things. Saeed gets hurt right before the match, and there's a bunch of things kind of going against them. This team, I think, will be as good as we expect them to be. It still is early in the season, though.
Political. Well answered politically.
Well, it's less about being political or diplomatic. I just think that's the deal.
Well, I'm going to be harsh on him, just like Coach Noonan would be.
Well, that's fair.
I pumped their tires too much.
Butte clears it out. Next up for Clemson, as we mentioned, UNC coming up this Friday. That'll be a game on ESPNU at 6 o'clock. A chance for us to see UNC for the first time on the network this year.
It should be a good one, Don.
That should be a great game, yeah. I mean, that's the thing about this league. Just so many just quality teams, quality players. And, yeah, every night we got a good one. I mean, Wake Forest, after that, will be the makeup game that was supposed to be the game from the 18th of last month. Now will be played October 13th. See Duke after that.
Keep them coming.
That's what I'm saying. You got 2 runners in the box here. But nicely defended by Krasniqi.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like saying that name?
12.
I could just tell every time you busted out Krasniqi, you're like,
Krasniqi.
Krasniqi.
I'll tell you what I am happy about is the sun going down, because tough angle at historic Riggs Field for those of us with the headsets on when that sun's out there.
And beautiful jerseys, but you really can't see the numbers.
You can't see anything. Gomez on it right now, takes the shot, deflected out by Stockley.
Dallin, I remember in college, sure you felt the same way. You get those new jerseys, you wanna score, you wanna play well in them, you're so proud of them. Here it is, that shot from outside. Solid block by Stockley, getting it across. But these kits are fresh.
They're great. But the tiny number, same color, tough for the broadcasters, but beautiful kits. Smith to play it in. Driven in low, doesn't beat the first defender. Missed kick, out of play.
This is where you need to practice good habits. 6 minutes left in the game. Slow it down, keep possession, keep the ball in the attacking half, and move it around. Don't dwell on the ball, because that's when you risk getting kicked, injuries, or just loss of possession, and you're allowing UAB to counter.
Gomez turns back upfield looking for somebody. Flips it up over the top. Foul on Smith, though, on Core. Good control by Core. Tries to play an early ball in, but Malou read it well. Martin. Price charging with Malou. Marks up off his line. Some appeals for a goal kick. Malou's down, though, behind the play.
And I hope it's not the hand-me down, because I saw him earlier in the match holding it, stretching there.
Senior captain got the team off the mark, got him the 1-0 lead going into the break. And this, again, not what you want to see. These are a lot of key guys in terms of their talent and their leadership.
And he does a good job of forcing Price to the outside. And it was Price's leg that just follows through and catches the back of Malou's left leg. Here it is in slow-mo. Just crushes him on the Achilles. But the defensive posture and stance from Malou was fantastic. He made it predictable. He said, I'm going to force him this way. And as soon as he takes that touch, I'm going to come across and use my body. He did that extremely well.
Malou's going to try to walk it off. I'll take the time to tell you about what's coming up next on All ACC. Team will have highlights, scores. Kelsey Riggs, Mark Herzlich are there. I will be there too shortly. Starts at 8 o'clock right after we're done here. All ACC. We'll get you caught up on everything that happened this weekend. Talk some soccer. Got Daryl Hill, the man that broke the color. Was the first black player to play football in the South from Maryland. Is on the show as well, giving a little bit of his experience as a trailblazer in college athletics. Great show coming up right after we're done here.
Tell my boy Herzlich I said what's up.
A couple BC dudes will do.
Yeah.
Aiden O'Hara checks in for Terrell Price. Mina Linares is in for Grayson DuPont as well. And Malou is back on, jogging to his center back spot. There's Malou. Got another Tiger down now too. But they're going to keep playing. Gomez pings it out wide. Deflected into the arms of Whitehead. And it's Matt Leszewski. He's holding his head. We'll see if he took a shot to the head. He seems okay, Lee.
Matt Leszewski has his heads up on the ball and then backs up. And it looks like he just gets elbowed to the back of the head.
And Linares got him good. So Isaiah Reed replaces Matt Leszewski. So Chuck, we've seen now, we did Wake game last week. Wake's ranked the #1 ranked team in the country right now. Clemson's in at 3. If you're comparing the two, are those A, those rankings justified, and B, do you think that's how they should be ranked right now?
Right now, yes. Wake Forest, to me, is the better team. Pitt without Kiza is going to look a lot different. So I don't see them staying at 2 without Edward Kiza, because we know him. He's in the box. He's such a predator. He gets on the end of everything. He's a hard worker. He makes smart runs. So right as we speak, I think the rankings are correct. Clemson, they have a lot to develop into. We know the potential, but they haven't showed me consistency yet. We all know they can get there, Dallin, but it's just a matter of when, not if.
Well, we'll see these two teams, as we just said, October 13th. So just over a week from today, we will be broadcasting that game for you as well.
You don't want
a lot of Clemson on the air this year on ACC Network this year, big fella.
2 minutes to go. Match 2 minutes.
Opportunity in the box. Another deflection, though. Blazers don't let it get to Whitehead.
You have to say, Jeff Kinney is going to be ecstatic with this performance.
Ecstatic? Really?
Yes. Yes. Clemson is far superior when man for man. But as a team, they stuck together. They were organized. They don't have the creative players up front. They don't have the players who can break you down and combine and score magical goals. They rely on set pieces. They rely on counterattacks. They rely on capitalizing off of mistakes. So with that being said, I was expecting, when you lose the way you have coming into the year, I was expecting this to get out of hand, to be honest. Because you're talking about Grayson Barber and Kamari Smith, Mohamed Saeed, who was supposed to start. These are players who can score goals against the top quality players in college soccer. So for UAB to come here and having lost 2 matches coming into the game, it's impressive.
Oh. There's only 30 seconds left, but this could be problematic. Let's see what Reshawn Clark does here. The official has now pretty much almost all 22 guys are over there. Isaiah Reed is not happy.
They're getting physical, and he kicked him after he was on the ground.
And Wilsley Lee just basically kicked Reed in the back of the leg.
He has every right to be fired up about that situation. You don't want to see an injury over something silly like that. When you're down 2-0, it's frustration, and you kick out. That's got to be a yellow card caution.
Looks like that's what is happening. That league's getting the yellow, and rightfully so for the sophomore from Huntsville, Alabama.
And he knows, and it's not a red because there wasn't force. It was more like a little frustration kick out. It wasn't meant to really injure Isaiah Reed, but nonetheless, you got to get a yellow card. There's no room in the game for that.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
And that's the final, 2-0. 18-game unbeaten streak at historic Riggs Field for Mike Noonan and his boys. They start off their home campaign with a 2-0 win over UAB. Chuck, your final thoughts on the match?
Clemson started slow but grew into the game. They were the dominant